What's up, YouTube? What's up, Hammerheads? Vanhammer HP, Craig coming at you. Okay, so I promised you a 5,000 mile review, so let's get right into it, okay? So, 5,000 mile review. I told you I'd bring you one. So, we're about a little over 5,400 miles. So, let's dive into it. Just remember, all this is personal opinion about what I think about the car, what I've enjoyed, some things I would like to see improved or see Ford give us maybe from the factory, and things like that. So, here we go. Okay, we got a 2019 Mustang GT PP1 Performance Pack Edition. We'll just start with a few things. And you know, my first complaint, my first gripe about this car is going to be the fact that it still comes stock with the hood prop rod. Okay, we've upgraded to the hood struts, which are a must-have upgrade, especially if you're going to do any upgrades in the engine bay, and then if you're ever going to just take your car to show off. If you're not going to do any of that and you're okay with the prop rod, then keep the prop rod. You're looking at anywhere from, I would say, $70 to $120 depending on which hood strut you go with. We went with the Ford Performance hood strut there. I believe they ran me about $70 or so, CJ ponies. Anyway, I love them. It's better than the prop rod, looks cleaner, just a all-out better option. So if you notice here, the 5.0 engine still got our plastic on there. I don't know how much longer that's going to stay. It looks like it's starting to peel, but 5.0 engine here, and if you take a look, this sucker is stuffed in here. Alright, not much room. We're still stock. We do have a strut tower brace, which I think looks pretty cool. That's a pretty cool added feature. My only gripe really with the engine and the engine bay here is all the plastic that you see. You know, motorhead guys, musclehead guys, things like that. When you prop the hood, man, you want to see engine. And these, you know, the Mopar's doing it. You know, I don't know about so much the Chevys. I think I've seen some engine covers and stuff on them too. But the new Mustangs and the Mopars, you open the hood on this thing, and it is plastic. Plastic everywhere. You don't see motor like you want to see in a muscle car. So two complaints there: prop rod, and just the overall plastic look of the engine bay. You know. All right, so let's talk about it. 5,000 mile review here. Hopefully you can see this with the glare on the dash there, but 54.23 even. So you see there. Engine's cold. The first issue I'm gonna address: engine tick. So everybody wants to know: do the 2019s have the engine tick? Do they not? Have I experienced it? Have I not? Anyway, I'm gonna show you. It's cold there. We're gonna do a cold start, and I'll let you take a listen to it. So on the cold start is when people are experiencing the tick from the time that you start it up until it warms up, for the most part. And if you listen there, there's no tick. So, to be honest with you though, there's no tick now. But I will say, about 900 miles before the first oil change, there was a tick underneath there. Coming from there, directly on the driver's side wheel well, you could hear the tick. And so at the time that I heard that tick was the same time the whole Ceratec issues were going. Everybody was like, buy Ceratec and get rid of the tick. So I'll have to admit I was a part of maybe the crowd that was a little worried about the tick and what it might do. So I went out and bought a bottle of Ceratec, threw it in there. Nothing since then. Nothing ever. I've seen some videos where people were like, well, 30 days later it came back. But what I did was I went, got 5W30 full synthetic, changed the oil, added the Ceratec. Haven't had one sound of a tick since then. That's the tick issue addressed, and that's it. And we'll move on to the next thing. One of my, not necessarily the first one, but one of my love-hates of the car, and that's the body lines. So the body lines, that's one of the things, I mean, that's what makes the S550, or one of the things that make these new S550s what they are. The whole new look, right? And these sharp body lines. Some people love it, some people hate it, the new look. Some people think it's not muscle, but I love the way it looks. I want to show you this right here, because if you ever think that Ford didn't incorporate classic into the Mustang, if you look at this view right here, what view is that? If you take out the spoiler, we'll scoot up right there. What look is that? I mean, that's classic Mustang. That roof line, fastback line from the roof down, this fender line right here. Now it may have been more rounded back in the day, but that is a classic Mustang look. So body lines make the car look great. They give it better aero, all that good stuff. All right, but this is what hard, sharp body lines also do. You better not park next to anybody at a Walmart or anywhere else, because you get a door ding in one of these sharp body lines and it's over. Here's what a door ding looks like in one of them sharp body lines. Now this one has been repaired. No, this was a straight bam door crease in the body line, door ding in the body line. And if you look, that's about as best as they could repair it. Now you really don't notice it unless you know it's there, and I know it's there, or if you're looking right at it. But when it was a door ding, you could walk by and you saw it right off the bat. But see, now this is about 3 feet away from the car, you don't notice it. And to continue on that, because we went on the rock chips, whatever you can do, and I'm going to look into maybe getting some of the clear vinyl protection in here. This is a rock magnet right here. Look at this. This sucks all that in here. And if you look here, 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 all tiny little chips. And so that's part of the body lines too, the way it's directing the air. But I will point out something here. Since we got these new tires, the first time I washed the car since the new tires, and I don't know if you can see, let's see, right here, the wider tires, maybe they're picking up more, and so they're slinging back more. And I don't know that there's much I could do about this one. It's kind of at the top, so no splash guard or anything like that's gonna protect that one. But maybe might be something I'll look into here to protect the bottom on the corners. I'll have to touch those up. But so one thing to think about, I've never had a chip around the wheel well until we put the bigger tires on. So let me go into the next one since I got a little light here. And this may be repetitive from any of the other S550 Mustangs. And, but man, it's the grill. The top grill, the upper grill. The upper grill and the back deck lid. I love the design. I love the design of the back deck lid. I love this line, these lines, especially with the matte black GT. Those lines like really look like they bring attention right to the center of the back. And so I love the design. The gloss black plastic is absolutely horrible. I hate it. If you touch that with any dust on it, it will scratch. Let's go back to the front upper grille. And so I've had better luck with the front upper grille and not scratching it. But what I hate about this is the wide honeycombs on here. So I just washed this, right? But if you get up in here, look at that. There's no way. I mean, unless you Q-tipped each one of those. Look at that. And like I said, you know, I'm a real lifer. I ain't got time for that. But so, and even the ones that aren't blocked out, I mean, look, and unless you go in there and you clean each one of those, then it looks dirty. But on the flip side of that, the aftermarket grills are insanely expensive, and I absolutely refuse to pay the money to replace the grill. So body lines, I think, attract rock chips, and if you get a door ding, you'll never get it back to the way it was. Front grill, gloss plastic, hard to clean. Back deck lid, gloss plastic. Summer tires, maybe throwing up rocks on the wheel well and chipping the corners here. Obviously we don't have the stock wheels on here anymore. We bought the new wheel, put them on when we put the summer tires back on. And one of my goals to getting the new wheel was to hopefully get a new wheel that was a little easier to clean. Stock wheels are gloss black, so they also scratch easier, but the way they're styled, you really got to get in there and clean them. And so to me it was a pain in the butt. These wheels, they take more time to clean than the factory ones, but with them being flat black or matte black, you're not gonna see the swirls and scratches in them as much. Another one that I got while we're out here, quad tip exhaust, and we'll go into this more in my likes when we go into maybe some functionalities. But quad tip exhaust was probably one of the best things they could have done for the newer Mustangs, the 18 and 19s. Love the quad tips. They bring a unique sound to them that I really like. PP1 spoiler. I've heard a lot about it. People say it's best spoiler ever on a Mustang, or at least on a GT, and I agree. I love the PP1 spoiler. Looks great. Looks awesome. All right, so one of the things I wanted to cover was the 12-inch LCD screen available for the Mustangs. And one of the things that in my case was an absolute have to have. The different modes and whatnot for RPM gauges, speedometer gauges, different things like that were just something that I thought was really cool and I wanted in my Mustang. Show you some of the features here. You saw me cycling through some of the drive modes. You have normal, my mode, we'll talk about that in just a second. Sport mode, track mode. Of course, you can see it turns the traction control off down there in the bottom right. Drag strip mode, snow and wet. It's actually a pretty cool mode there. I drove it when the streets were real wet one time, and it will actually, like, you'll press on the gas and it won't go at all. So it keeps your RPMs down so you don't spin out in snow and ice. So a feature that seems to work. So that's the different drive modes you have. The sport and track mode, these are going to adjust your shift points, and are also going to give you kind of the rev match feature for when the car downshifts. It keeps you in the high RPM so that you're able to so you stay in the power band and can take off quick again. So that's something that's pretty weird the first time you ever experience it. The first time I got in the car and drove in sport mode and went to slow down, and you hear it downshifting and revving, it's something that you kind of have to get used to. And to be honest with you, I thought it was pretty cool for a while, and now most of the time it kind of gets annoying after a little while to me. And so I usually drive in normal mode, and unless I want something, a little sporty reaction, I'll drive around in normal mode, but then set the exhaust into a sport or track mode. We'll take a look at my mode and see how it says for track use only. The reason that is because if we go to my mode and then show the status, if you can see that there, it's in normal mode but with the track exhaust. So that gives me the normal driving mode but with the sound of the track exhaust, which is what I like. So you have a pony button on the steering wheel right here that allows you to access these features. You can manually go into 4 different exhaust modes. Quiet's gonna put you in a mode that's basically make you like any other sedan. Normal gives you just that normal rumble you would expect from just a factory sports car. Sport and track are going to open your exhaust up a little bit and maybe sound in between what you would get and maybe an aftermarket exhaust mode. So when we talk about options here in a second, the active exhaust, which this feature, may be something you want to look into. So going into like I said, the screen, I love the screen. I love the options that you can mess with on the screen. Instead of doing that in a little screen right here in the middle like you would with a regular one, you have that whole 12-inch screen there. So it's just convenient, and like I said, all in all, it's just kind of cool looking. Talking about those features, the drive mode feature is down here in these little toggles, and that's one thing I think it's been just an overall, I think, pretty common complaint about you know, with those that have the drive mode feature and the active exhaust feature and things like that, is you know, you wish you could access that drive mode, you know, at the ease of the steering wheel like you can the exhaust mode, instead of having to reach down and switch that when you need to. We'll talk about the interior while we're here. As you can see, it's the automatic 10 transmission. Well, we'll talk about the transmission then. Great transmission as far as I can tell. The only issue, which is another issue people have talked about, is the shift from 4th to 5th sometimes feels a little harder, and it usually, to me, it happens when I'm in sport mode. It seems to happen the most. But it doesn't happen if you're really, it's kind of like, to me, it happens when you're kind of halfway in between getting on it and just normal cruising. If you get on it, it doesn't do it. If you're just cruising, it doesn't do it. But if you're in that, I don't know, just that space in between 4th and 5th, sometimes it shifts a little hard for my liking. We'll talk about now we'll talk about the interior. Interior, you can see we have the premium package here, the leather seating. We do not have the Recaro seats. Look at there, we do have space for the car seat. But one of the things, Recaro seats, to me, if I'm going to get the premium package, I want my creature comfort. So I want the seat, I want to have the electric seats, I want to have the heated, cooled seats, options you don't get with the Recaros. And if you look at these, the I guess hip cushions or butt cushions here, and the side cushions here stick out pretty well, and these seats will hold you pretty firm in the seat if you're making the turns and stuff. So to me, Recaro seats was something that is kind of like a personal preference and kind of, I don't know, aesthetic feature. Some of the things I do have to complain about the interior, and I know it's things Mustangs never had, but if you use this as a family car and you have the kids back there, which we are doing, it would be nice to have a cup holder. So there's only 2 cup holders in the Mustang, and so it would be nice to have a cup holder. I don't know if they could ever incorporate one down here or do the little flip down thing, but it would be nice to have one in the back. The other things I thought about in a premium Mustang that I wish you had, especially a premium GT or a performance pack, something special like that, give us some type of impression in the seats or some stitching that says GT or has the Mustang or PP1. You know, for a $50,000 car, you would think you could get something like that in your GT. The other thing that I would like, and I know this is going to be the passenger floorboard, but for one, they put the clips on the driver's side to hold the floor mat. They don't ever put the clips on the passenger side to hold the floor mat, so the floor mat's constantly moving up. So I hate that. The other thing I would like, and especially a premium pack or a GT or something like that, give us some stitching or something in the floor mat. Put a GT on there or put Mustang down the side. I think that would be a really nice feature to the interior. Other than that, you know, I really don't have any complaints. We've been comfortable in our rides, even when all 4 of us are in here, the 2 kids and Mrs. Vanhammer and I. So I mean, obviously, yes, it's a Mustang, so it's not the same room we had in a F350 for sure. While we're on the topic of space, we'll check something out real quick. The trunk has tremendous space in it. So yeah, you can fit your 2 weeks worth of groceries in there. You're not hauling any lumber or anything, but the trunk is definite adequate space. We've put strollers in here. We've put 2 weeks worth of groceries in here. We've put Christmas presents in here. We've, you know, everything. It's been adequate. Talk about the stereo system. One of the upgrades I did not get was the B&O stereo system, but with the standard system, it does come, you see, you get the little tweeter speakers, and then you got the speakers down in the doors, and then the ones in the back. If you're a big, like, crystal clear sound kind of guy, you may want to go with the B&O. To me, what we have here has been sufficient enough as far as music quality and things like that.